Vicky? Hi, Vicky. You all right?
I am all right. Yeah, thank you. You all right?
Good, thank you. How was your Easter?
It was lovely. It was nice. Yeah, it was good.
Good. That's good. I'm recording this session if that's okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people that can't come that I'll share the link with. So I have started recording. So hello everybody. We didn't want to make another network group because there is already a lot of network groups, but also sustainability is something that we are going to have to evidence, I think, from September 24. So by that, obviously the Department of Education created this plan and we've got to meet certain criteria, and one of those is that every school establishment should have some form of an action plan, a bit like what you have with equality and diversity and accessibility and lots of other things, and this is another action plan to do. However, I think this is a bit more of an exciting action plan and a bit more imaginative, and there's loads of different areas that sustainability covers. So after talking to a couple of people, rather than having a network group, I'll put internally half an hour sessions where they're simply something that you can dip in and out of. If you want to come, hear what other schools are doing, share what you're doing. There's somebody else. Finishing jobs, aren't they? I won't keep on repeating myself. Hi, Rob.
Hi, you're right. I've got
Yes,
Alison with me as well.
Thank you. I'm just doing a bit of an introduction, but I am recording. Is that okay? Hello.
Yeah, of course.
Good. Where are you guys from?
We're from Merryfields.
Merryfields. Oh, thank you for coming. I'm just saying that this, rather than making a network group, this is just about sharing what you guys are doing, listening to what others are doing. I've got a few things that I'm going to share, some funding streams and bits and bobs. So I suppose without further ado, we'll just kind of get into where we're at as schools. So does anyone want to go first, or shall I just pick somebody? Sarah, would you like to go first?
I can do.
Yeah, fabulous. Thank you.
I'll share whatever I can.
Thank you.
So I'm new. Just to introduce myself, I'm new to Rocklands. I'm actually a Rocklands parent, but I'm new as a staff member this year, and I work in the formal department of our school. So when it was who wants to do sustainability, I was quite up for the challenge in that it's something I quite like, and my husband also works in that kind of field, so I can pick his brain as needed. So what we've done so far is I've looked on the School Climate Action Plan link. We signed up to that. From that, came up with our action plan based on things that I thought might be attainable. Yeah. And in honesty, we've not gone much further with that, really. We've done a bit of an audit in that I linked it into lessons. So we were doing persuasive writing in my class last half term. So they wrote to all the classes in the school and the office staff saying, do you recycle within your classroom, or have you just got one basic bin? If not, you need one. We've made sure that we've got paper and card recycling going on in our classroom. So gradually trying to build that and a general awareness. We've got a theme week that we're doing on the 13th of May, which is themed with our environment. So that covers science, geography, DT and a PE kind of focus. So hoping to get lots in there. We've got a lady from called Lucy Farmer, who's from Severn Trent. She's going to come in and do some assemblies talking about water quality and that kind of thing. So that was good. Yeah, at school, we've got things like we've got a sensory garden, we've got our forest school area. There's an after school club that's going to happen hopefully later this term to do with gardening and wormeries and things like that. So there are little pockets going on around school, but I think as a school, it's not been a major focus, or it's not felt like that. So things like getting a little club together where we can go and do litter picking and raising the profile a little bit more. We've also got things like the air pollution. So on our site we have a lot of taxis that come to school, so looking at maybe involving the council, getting somebody to come and monitor and talk about switching engines off whilst you're waiting, improving air quality, things like that. We're hoping to introduce, but that's as far as we've got.
That's great. I think that's I think one thing that you guys are doing is getting the pupils really involved. All of those examples you just gave were stuff that the pupils are involved in and, you know, are leading on, like litter picks and getting people. I think that's something that I was really keen to make sure happen, because when I've been looking at it, it's been from an estates point of view. So at Rocklands, I'm thinking you just had your roof done, which has made your building more energy efficient.
Yeah, we've also had a new boiler as well somewhere.
Yeah.
So hopefully those kind of things will have an impact as well. And we've got a new build going on, so I'm assuming that's going to be as energy efficient as it could be. But that's not something that I know the details of.
Yeah, but all of those examples you just gave were all about the children and getting those involved, which is really lovely. The Let's Go Zero app that you've signed up for, are you logging things on that?
I haven't been. We did the action plan, excuse me. So I've got the target set, but I haven't then since gone back onto it to update it particularly. Is that something I should have been doing?
Not necessarily. But this is the first meeting, so I just wondered like what it looks like when you start adding to it and stuff like that. So
I've downloaded it as a document and got it registered online, but that's it. I haven't amended it since.
Cool. Okay. Does anyone else want to share what they're doing? Rob?
I'll go next because we almost mimic Sarah word for word, to be honest. Like, we're having a new
makes
build,
me feel good.
It's also going to be completely renewable, energy efficient. Something that the school have put together is LED lights. So I think most of the schools now has got LED lights that on a motion sensor, so they trigger when you walk into the room. Something we do as a school is we use a lot of recycled material for art. So almost every morning in briefing, someone's asking, can you send me crisp packets? Can you send me bottle lids? And the children use that to make some beautiful art. We've just finished, Britain in Bloom. And the topic on that was, let's go blooming green. So every child in the school entered this competition. It's part of Newcastle under Lyme Council. Actually create a piece of art about renewable energy. So some of the children did a lot of research into renewable energy. The upper school, the lower school use crisp packets and recycled materials to make beautiful art pieces. Something I wanted to implement but I haven't yet, we'll probably do it in September now, is a school council. So the sustainability council, to really get the pupils focused and involved and excited. So every child would have a rep that's in charge of being renewable for that class. So remind the children not to waste paper. If you want to do some scribbly drawing, use scrap paper rather than a brand new piece of fresh paper because it's very expensive, especially this cream paper, because there's a lot of money on that. That was our focus really. And again, with the litter picking, there's a field next to the school that's covered in litter. And some of the children asking my class, can we go and pick some litter? And I am going to make a plan to go at some point this term and just tidy the area up and just make it about the community really. So yeah, that's as far as we've got. And again, I haven't used the app similar to Sarah, but I'll log onto it again and have a look and update a few bits.
Can I ask about the Britain in Bloom?
Oh yes, yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, is that a national thing or is that local to you? That competition?
Yeah.
I think it's national, but Newcastle under Lyme run it every year. So I don't know if it's something
and that's just finished, has it?
Yeah, it finishes before half term, but I think it's a yearly thing. We've done it every year.
Yeah, I was just thinking for next year whether it was something we could plan in, but okay,
it might be worth contacting your local. Are you in Lichfield, Rocklands?
Yes.
Yeah. So it might be worth seeing if they do anything the same, similar.
Yeah.
It's an RHS. I've just Googled it. I'll send an email out with all the different things that we've discussed after.
Yeah.
But I'll put Britain in Bloom on there because that looks really lovely. But the first thing when you Google it is Newcastle-under-Lyme comes up.
Oh, is it?
Wow.
Okay.
It looks national, yeah, but yeah. Oh, because you were the 2023 finalists. That's cool. Yeah, I love the
Yeah.
idea of getting the children to go outside and tidy up the local community as well. That's really nice.
We did talk about creating posters to put up around Newcastle, like, you know, don't pick up your dog poo, throw your litter in the bin, get the children to design it, and have that around the local community, so that the local authority in the local area are going to have a real sense of the feel at Merryfields. And,
Yeah, that you're driving something positive.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's it. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
have you got someone else with you there, Rob?
Alison, yeah.
Right.
Hi, Alison.
I'm
Fabulous.
happy
Go on
to
then,
add.
Vicky.
So rather than just repeat what everyone else has said, because we're obviously in a very similar position, I have signed up, but I'm still at the process of filling in my sort of action plan. And we're the same with things like motion sensors for our lights. But what we focused on at Bailey Street is we've done a lot with food waste. So our thing is that we've signed up with local food banks to redistribute food that would normally go to waste, and then we've utilised that to provide a free breakfast club, free lunch club, free mid-morning snacks, you sort of redistributing food. We've also put together with them a food hamper that's given out to one of our free school meal families each week, which is sort of redistributing food that would normally go to waste. And then within the school we collect all our food waste and it goes to some chickens. We have somebody who uses that then as feed for their flock of chickens. So that's quite a nice thing that we've done to add to what other people are doing. And then one of the things we're looking at is the possibility, our school vehicles are coming up for renewal and replacement. They're on their last legs. So we're looking at replacing those with an electric vehicle and looking at obviously an electric charging point and how that might fit in with the community as well. That's in its, I must say that's in its very early stages, but that is something we're looking at when that comes up for replacement, just to add those extra 2 bits in.
Thanks, Vicky. Thank you. Chris, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I think a lot of the things you've covered are what's going on here. I guess 2 things that I can think of that are slightly different. One is talking about vehicles. We've got 4 minibuses, and we've made the decision that we're going to reduce the number of minibuses we have. We're not going electric yet, but I think by just reducing the number we've got, that's probably a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, because we obviously have sixth formers, we do a lot of travel training, and that's about getting our older students to use public transport. So I guess that's something else fit in with what we're doing. But yeah, I'm a bit more interested in the bigger stuff we could be doing with the estates, as Kate knows, things like solar panels and things like that down the road.
Having a watertight roof.
Well, I was going to say that we collect our water in the corridors in
You
buckets.
could reuse it, flush the loos
Instead
with
of
it.
having water fountains, we just give kids cups and say, just go down the corridor, fill your boots.
Oh dear. Thanks, Chris. So Dave, you've kind of hopped on, haven't you, as a newbie?
Well, yeah, I've been shoehorned into this in a way, sort of thing. I think we're in quite a strange predicament. I say predicament, situation as being a PFI, because a lot of our stuff is arranged by BAM FM, our site agent. So we don't necessarily control our recycling front, but I'm sure there's a lot more we could be doing. Things like printer cartridges from the odds and sods of the normal HP printers we've got, down to the toner from the photocopiers. You know, we're just taking that, throwing it into a bin and saying dispose of. there is already an estates plan together, so we're already 90% LED across the site, and that's internal and external. Some time ago, we did put a request in for solar panel survey, but that was coming out at around £7,500 just for the survey on the roof space. Getting pupils involved, that's something we'd need to work on, and sort of what sort of initiatives could we use to try and build it into curriculum, basically, whether it be parts of PSHE or whether we build it into the primary topic periods, would be something to look at. Where would I get sign up to the school climate action plan? Because
I'll share that list after this, but it is a really good tool. So basically,
I think having that as the start point would show exactly what we don't do. Because listening to everybody else, it's like, oh wow, you got some great ideas, but we're not doing that. And it's like, well, we're not doing that. Now, it would be trying to change the persona and the thought patterns of some of our pupils into getting them on board with this, to help say, actually, this is for not just our future, but your future.
Yeah, it's got absolutely tons of ideas as well, so it makes it really easy. So you can basically go and pick everything off there, but what we suggested at the start was that you just picked a few really quick wins. And if I just share my screen, one of the resources I was going to pinpoint you to, which I think is in the Let's Go Zero action plans anyway, is if you go to the schools tab, it's got schools toolbox here, and I think this is what it pulls through on the action plan. So you can select any of these. Say we want to go to waste, you can then go in and it'll create loads of different suggestions on different companies you can get in touch with, different initiatives. So all of these links on here then put you through to where the ideas are pulled through from. So I just wanted to share that and remind the school toolbox is there. There's also webinars as well. I've not actually been on any, so I can't say, oh yeah, they're great, go on one, but I didn't realise that they did them, so I'm going to sign up to a couple of these. But primary curriculum, I haven't seen anything SEN specific. The National Education Nature Park, I think this might be a good one on Wednesday, 8th of May. So the National Education Park, which I've got up here, is a Department of Education. Oh, I can't click on it because it's got my sharing screen there. Here we go. This is the big initiative that the government have created for schools. And there is loads and loads of funding available. So they've got £50 million at the moment. I can't get the word
eligibility.
The criteria can be found there. Now, I know that the schools will meet the criteria, because we always do, because we've got the demographics that meet the criteria. So it's definitely worth having a look at those planters, trees, water butts, loads of stuff there. And it looks like quite an easy application form. So if anyone was interested in that, I'd be more than happy to sit and put some applications, either school specific, or there might be a few schools they might accept a trust one, for example. So that might be worth having a look at. Is it the kind of thing
where you apply once and that's it, or like with everything, or could you keep dipping back, as it were, if someone's setting up a gardening club and there's something that would be appropriate, if they put in one, does it, I don't know, because I've not applied for funding like that before. Yeah. Is it better to do a lot in one go, or is it okay to just keep dipping back?
I don't know. I'll have a look at it. It's a brand new one, so I'm not quite sure how it works. I presume that they've got deadlines that you've got to meet, but I've not seen anything written that says that you can't go for it again.
The lights have gone up.
I always think with funding, definitely go for as much as you can. Like if the maximum's 10k, you know, create as many different little projects to meet that 10k, because you may as well if you're going to the trouble of applying for funding. So I thought that was quite an interesting one. That's only recently been set up, that National Education Nature Park, and I know there's loads of like different links off there as well, but I didn't want to bombard, so I'll send the link for that. And then the other one that's quite good, I mean, when I say quite good, it's the ones that I've been drawn towards, so I'm sure you're drawn towards other things, but the WWF, they've got some really lovely resources that were really bright and colourful, and they just looked quite cool. Loads of different posters that you can apply for and bits and bobs that might kind of get the message out to, you know, put on notice boards and get the children looking at the pictures thinking, oh, that looks really cool. Yeah, downloadable resources, loads and loads of stuff on there. But it's quite a good brand, isn't it, WWF? It's quite well known. So I thought that would be quite useful, and I'll send that. With the Let's Go Zero, I'll send the link, Dave, for you as well. And if you want me to run through it, there's a video. We had them come in and show us how to use it. So that's it's only 10 minutes worth watching, but I'm happy to sit and go through it. And then the other thing I found was National College has got absolutely tons of stuff on there that's free for all of us to access. And sorry, I'll just share again, just so you can see how I've got to it. You know, on the top here, you've got all the different tabs. There's a whole climate education tab. And this time last year, there was only a couple of webinars on here, but now there's tons of resources, more like training packages and webinars aimed at staff. So this isn't something maybe the kids would find useful, but you might. And there's all different, so you could say where you sit. So I'd go and support staff, and it'd give me the relevant different webinars to watch. So that's probably quite useful, just to have a little click around and see if anything kind of grabs your attention. But this is why I clicked on the WWF, because they must have some kind of affiliation with them. Sorry. But yeah, loads of really specific stuff on how to get sustainability into your IT lessons, or nothing very SEND specific again, which you find in everything, don't you? But I thought that was worth maybe bringing your attention to. Again, I'll do like a little write-up after this and send it. From a trust perspective, I think it's probably worth just saying that I would definitely love to be involved in any vehicles. So if, like Vicky, you're saying about the EV charge points and vehicles, I know Sean at Oakfield Lodge is looking at it as well. I'd love to be involved in that, because then if I can then help other schools as and when that comes up. Decarb plans, they're being rolled out at the moment. Some schools sat around here have had them already, some haven't. I'll send Merryfields, I sent Josie it, but I'll ping it over to you, Rob and Alison. Dave, you've had one as well. I don't think the other schools have been done yet, but they are fantastic. They're not meant to be a document to work from straight away, but when you have building projects in your schools, it's come up with different costings of what an energy efficient project would cost. So, for example, at Merryfield, you've got your swimming pool, and in your decarb plan, it said that if you put temperature control on your swimming pool, the payback cost would be 1 month period. So I think it will cost £500 to make this little change, but you'd get that money back straight away. And obviously your pool would then become more energy efficient. So solar's in there. Those that have got, it's put those costs in, so it just kind of makes you think, actually, when we come to replace the boiler, if we went for this model, it might be a couple of grand more, but we'd save £5,000 in the every year after that. So they're really useful.
So what's this document?
They're decarbonisation plans.
Okay.
So the same company that came out and did the fully LED fit have gone round and done an in-depth report, but it's estates based, it's not curriculum based. It's very much about the actual building. So all of you've got LED lights now, but that would be in there, you know, if you spend 5k on your lighting, you'll save X amount. But it also saves it also says how much carbon you'll save as well, which is nice. And it's good to Google it as well to see what that actually means, because it's quite surprising. When we did the LED lights, we saved enough carbon to drive around the world 75 times a year, something like that. So just puts it into perspective, doesn't it, for people? So the other thing is we are going to engage with a company on ICT recycling. So they're a social enterprise, but if you've got any, I don't know, old printers, bits and bobs lying around, which I know loads of schools have, we have at the Trust, we've got tons of stuff. We're going to have like an ICT amnesty day. So the guys will come up and pick it up. So it gives you more storage space, but also it then gets recycled. And it's all about getting people involved in, engaged in jobs. And like, it was just a really good company. And they'll give you a certificate as well to show that it's been disposed of in a suitable way that you'd expect your school's ICT equipment to be. You know, they're not just popping it on eBay. So that's all getting checked out at the moment. The other thing that I thought of as well was the carbon reporting, which is dull as dishwater, but every year we have to send for the auditors your carbon usage on your school. And was it you, Chris, that was talking about reducing your minibuses? We have to we get measured on the mileage, the use of diesel, the use of energy, everything. But mileage is absolutely massive. It really up. And I'll share the last 3 reports if you're a bit geeky and want to have a look at it, because when we first had to do it, it was COVID and nobody was traveling. And then as soon as the schools came back for that following year, the carbon report usage went through the roof, because we were out again using the minibuses. As a special group of special schools as well, our carbon usage is really high because we've got like the pool at Merryfields. We've got quite big buildings with lots of specialist equipment in, but with smaller pupil numbers. So when we sit on the benchmarking, ours are really quite high compared to, say, the local high school. But I'll send that through as well, because you can see the differences and the journey over the last 3 years. They're the main things really from the Trust perspective that are happening at the moment. I'll have a look as well at printer and toner cartridges, because that is quite a big one, isn't it? See if we can kind of pull something together as a Trust. So yeah, that's it from me. Is there anything that you'd find useful to make for someone to look into for next term? Say if we meet kind of September time, not the first day back. I am really sorry about that. Shall I maybe create a Teams area where we can have a bit of we can chat, and if someone's doing something that they've particularly enjoyed, you can share it on there, and I'll do that. Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for giving up your time, not just now, but for the purpose of sustainability. I think it is really important, and I think our kids are really passionate about it. It's something that's really, you know, far more important than it was when I was a kid. You know, I think it's important that we enable them.
I think they like the fact that they're getting adults to do something as well.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's coming from them, and you've got some adults that kind of like, oh well, I don't bother to do that. Probably I should. Once you've got children nagging you, you're more likely to do it.
Yeah.
So I think they enjoy the fact that they have got a bit of an onus about it, like they're in charge. So yeah.
That's true. That's true. Cool. All right then. Well, have a lovely, lovely week.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to
Thank
meet you
you,
all.
Kate.
Take care,
Thanks.
everyone.
Bye.
Cheers, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.